Mhm. Hello, everybody. I'll give you a few minutes to jump on here tonight. First things first, I always have to check my lip gloss. Let's see. So when you jump on, just let me know where you're tuning in from and you know the drill and blah, blah, blah. And if this is your first time, let me know how you heard about it or if you just kind of came across it, however it came to be that you found this tonight. Uh, Let me know. Hey, Bernadette, I see you over there. Join us on YouTube, Bernadette. It's been forever since I've seen you, so I hope all is going well. Oh, I'll give you a few minutes. I can never tell when people are on, so you can just start by letting me know that you are here and always let me know where you're tuning in from. And tonight is Monday, October something, Columbus Day. So that's it, whatever Columbus Day is, 14th, October 14th, that would be today. So if you're watching this at a different time, that's great. But this is currently live. 8:33 p.m. on Monday night, Columbus Day, 2019. I never do this. I never do the date. So just type in where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, I'm seeing very familiar names pop up, so that's always fun. So hello, Carrie and Aisha and Marianne and Holly and Marianne, another Marianne. No, it's the same Marianne. Uh, ooh, Robin is in Lake George. That's a fabulous place to be. Hello, Carolyn and Kim. Hello. Um, oh gosh, Kim. I was actually with Kim earlier this afternoon at a um what do you call it? Corn maze. Oh my God, I can't even remember. Corn maze today. That was actually a really good corn maze because you really do get lost in it. Because anytime I've ever been in a corn maze before, either the stalks weren't high enough and I could see over and it was easy. But this one was pretty legit and it's in Montgomery. And I don't think a lot of people know about this place. It's called Twin Ponds, and I'm going to give them a huge shout out because I was super impressed. I think it's great for bigger kids because the corn maze was actually difficult, but it's perfect for little kids because they had a ton of things for kids to play on and all these games and stuff. I was really impressed, and like it was so empty today that it was so doable. So check that out. Hello, Carmela. Oh my God, I'm so glad to see you tuning in. Carmela writes, your transformations class and our connection as a group has been life-changing. I am telling you, for those of you who have not taken my ETA class, I know I sound like a pain in the ass about talking about my own stuff and my own events and like how amazing things are, but I'm telling you, one, there's nothing like it out there that I've ever seen. So maybe there is and I haven't seen it. I'll admit to that, but there is no other workshop or class, and I've been to so many, and I'm constantly looking for personal development opportunities, whether they're small in an hour like a yoga class or huge and deep. And this one is huge and deep. So I will have the next one um, somewhere around March when the weather's good because we have to commit 3 weekends to me over 6 weeks. So we're on a weekend, off a weekend, on a weekend, and it's intense. So I'm glad to hear that, Carmela. I loved having your energy in the group. That was just amazing. So Williamsport, Pennsylvania, Holly, that's where you are. Fantastic. Oh, Kim, hello. You've been a topic of conversation this week. Um, let's see. Bonnie, Roseanne, hello from Orleans, Massachusetts. I love Orleans. I did a reading for you in Newburgh several years ago at Roseanne Case's house. Very cool. Oh yeah, I recognize the name. So Orleans, Massachusetts. We used to go there all the time for vacation. I have cousins that live in Truro, and we'd go to P-Town all the time. That's a great place up there. Oh my God, Sue, hello. I was going to text you, Sue, and I just haven't taken the moment to do that, saying I just love and adore Kyle. And both of them were coming out of McDonald's, long story short, while we were at McDonald's, but uh, both were coming out, and I was staring at both of them in my car going, these two look like they're brothers. Like, I can't even believe that, like almost twins. And Kyle is taller, but Chris is catching up, which is amazing. And I was like really in shock. They both have that amazing hair. They're just adorable. So I love having him over all the time. Melanie, hello. Carrie, you were lost in a corn maze today too. This one was pretty cool. Hey, Claudine. Um, they had a GPS for your phone so you could find different parts of the corn maze, which I couldn't pull it up on my phone because I just was like, oh, forget it. So Kim had it on hers and that was perfect. But I'm telling you guys, go to this Twin Ponds in Montgomery. It was really well done. Um, oh, Carmela, were you at the same one or a different one that I was in? That would be so weird if we had just missed each other. Hello, Teresa and Deb from Saratoga. Oh, Michelle, hello, hello. Let's see who else is tuning in. I always love to see who's on and who's tuning in. So let me know if you guys are tuning in for the first time. For those of you who don't know what this is just Monday Night YouTube Live with me, and you can ask me questions and we can talk about energy and I don't know, all the cool stuff that I actually like to talk about and not like mundane, things that cause aggravation internally or externally that are happening in the world. So I just love this time with you guys. So you get to ask questions. Tonight is generalized questions as it usually is. Every once in a while, I will have personal intuitive questions offered, but mostly not. And those of you who stay on when I don't offer personal intuitive questions, don't think I'm not taking mental note of who you are, because I know those who just jump on like, oh, Deborah's answering questions tonight. Now I'm going to like be her number one fan. I'm going to jump in so I can ask a question, which is totally fine because that's what I do. But for those of you who are here for the information and the learning, I take note of who you are. Trust me. Let's see. Oh, Carmela, I'm so glad that you went to see Marissa tonight. I did want to get there today, and that didn't happen as I was totally sidetracked. Hello, Sue from New Paltz and Bobby K. No picture tonight. I couldn't figure it out. The other picture that we had pulled up had fuzzy. Let me see if I could show you what I saw. Let's see that. I saw that. So I was like, okay, I don't know how to fix that. And so I did this instead of bothering myself with trying to get the background the way I wanted it. I just said, you know what? It's going to be an ugly green, which is what you on Facebook normally see. The ugly green behind me, the green screen. But tonight, everybody on YouTube is seeing it as well. So I love that you love Mondays, Christina. So, okay. Hey, James. Hey, what's up, James? So, a couple of things. I have a gallery in Albany on this Wednesday, October 16th. That's at the Polish American Community Center. This is a really great venue, and I'm so excited to be connected with everybody there. And this is a pretty good one. So come for those of you who are in Albany, because I'm not typically in Albany very often. So that is pretty exciting for me. Wednesday, it's not sold out. I have not yet heard that it's sold out, Bonnie. So I would make a reservation, but I have not heard that it's sold out. I don't think this one will. The one in the summertime was sold out, but this time of year is weird with parent teacher night and it's getting dark earlier. Nobody wants to go out. That's my guess. So no, it is not sold out yet. Those of you in Albany, and for those of you on my Facebook page, I posted today that the Albany Times-Union newspaper did an article on me, and it's called 20 Things You Did Not Know About Deborah Hanlon. So most of you actually said you did know it, and it was really kind of difficult to write this darn thing, which I thought was so cool, and I'm so grateful for Christy who reached out to me to do this article. But it was really hard to think of 20 things that you guys don't know about me, because I feel like I tell you guys everything. There's really not much that's interesting anyway that you don't know about me. So look at that. I posted on my Facebook page. So those of you who are not in Albany, you could see it on my Facebook page. You could also go to the Albany Times-Union newspaper and you can find it there as well. So that was pretty fun. So those of you who want to share what you learned about me, if you read it, because I know Bobby K, you knew 18 of the 20, which was pretty cool. I saw that comment on Facebook earlier. So let me know which ones you didn't know, because like I said, it was really kind of hard to do what you guys don't know about me, because I feel like you guys know like all the interesting stuff. There's probably stuff you don't know about me. Like, I don't know. I fell off my bike in fourth grade and was in the hospital for a week. I should have written that one, but that was like creepy, so I didn't add that one. Susan, the next gallery in that I know of in Poughkeepsie is November, I believe it's 13th or 18th. It's a Wednesday night in November. I think it's the second Wednesday, and that's at Poughkeepsie Grand Hotel. So, oh, Bobby K, then I'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday night then. Pretty cool. Bonnie, you were at Cohoes. I'll be returning there in November as well. So this is my 2 times up in Albany in the next month, and then I won't be there for quite a long time. So there you go. I'm a blabbermouth. Miss Sharon, I hope you're a downward dog, and I hope that you just fell out of downward dog. How's that? I'm a blabbermouth. Huh. I never was called a blabbermouth before. Yeah, Greg, I can't find the contrast slider. I know how to do it. Just it's nowhere on this screen whatsoever. So I decided to forget it. Unless you want to come back downstairs and be a guest on the show to fix it, that'll be fantastic. Melanie, oh, you knew most of it. Yep. But yes, a fun fact about me or a weird fact about me, other than I can hear dead people. I think in Spanish a lot because when I was younger, in third grade, I took a class about in a Spanish class. My mom was going to college on the weekends, and so I'd have to go with her. And it was at OC, which is Orange County Community College near here. And while she was in class, in third grade, I was 8 or 9 years old. I would have to get myself from one class of, I forget what the other, gymnastics and Spanish. And I would walk myself across the campus of OC at 9 years old, which now I'm rethinking that choice of my mom, but I guess I was a pretty together kid. And shockingly, I know you guys are shocked. And I took a Spanish class, and I am very good at picking up languages. I learn vocabulary very quickly, and as soon as you learn vocabulary, it's all good. So from there, I always learned Spanish, and then I took it in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, all through high school. I took Spanish all the way up until college. I used to be quite good at speaking it, super good at understanding it. And I took French and Italian. I love learning languages. It was just something I've always found fascinating and came easy to me. I wanted to go to Middlebury College now I'm forgetting where it is, New Hampshire or Vermont, but that didn't pan out. And so, yeah, to this day, I find myself speaking in Spanish. And it's not like I'm thinking in English and I translate it to Spanish. I actually think in Spanish, and then I have to translate it to English. And I just love it. Sometimes French and Italian words come up, but it's mostly Spanish that I'm thinking. So, yeah, there's a fun fact. Oh, the other thing you guys learned is I could do a cartwheel. Maybe I'll have to do a YouTube video of me doing a cartwheel because I'm not kidding. I was 2 years old. I could do a perfect cartwheel. Hence why in third grade I took Spanish and gymnastics. See how this all ties together? And I still can do a perfect cartwheel. I probably can't do a one-handed anymore because I'm afraid I'm going to tear a shoulder or rotator cuff or something. But I'll have to, one of these days I will have to show you my perfect cartwheel. I used to be able to do one of those quick round offs. I don't think I could do that. I'm not going to test my back and go crazy. So, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. You guys didn't know about the Spanish speaking. Most people don't. I never even thought that was a thing that was cool until over the summer when I did spiritual summer camp. One of the things I asked everybody was, what's something that you find intriguing and would like everyone to know about you? And that's the one that came to my mind. Yeah, that's what I do. I don't even think Greg knew that until I told him. I think right here, by the way, I think I have a little bit of an onset of poison ivy because we were cutting down trees because you guys know how I get pruning and weed whacking. No, not weed whacking. Leaf blowing. I get to be a little OCD on all that. And I think I might have, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna wash with that stuff. All right. Let's see. Okay. Carolyn, you saw it. You saw the article. That's good. Oh, Greg is saying no, he doesn't want to come down. Oh my gosh, he he didn't breathe. He did not breathe properly on when he was here, and I thought that was kind of hilarious. Greg is not a quiet, shy guy like at all. I'm shyer than Greg is. I know you guys won't believe this based on his last performance here, but I thought he wasn't going to breathe when he was sitting next to me. So, yeah. All right, let's see. I'm still waiting. Yeah, I know. Today would have been great. It's weird. Carmela is asking if Little Italy is locked down the dates. I have reached out to the woman, Marilyn, who hosts Italy, and I have not heard back from her, which is unusual. And I sent another email to her saying, like, ooh, did you get my other emails? So I will track her down. But I really thought I would have like real firm times and dates at this point. So I am working on that. I really hope I really hope at the end of this week, but I'm just waiting to hear back from her. I did pick my dates. She said what dates she's had available, and I picked them. And then I just wanted to hear back from her to confirm them, and then we can be an all go. Carmela's going to be a bridesmaid, Carmela. That's great. Oh my gosh. Let's see. James is saying Greg is a wild and crazy guy. So this is all I have coming up. Actually, that's totally not true. I have a book club starting in November 10th. There is a very limited seating at this place, so you do have to sign up or register at the Barking Goose bookstore and bar in Newburgh. So all of that information's on my website, or if you could just Google their business, the Barking Goose in Newburgh, it'll pop up. But you have to make a reservation because it's a fairly small, intimate environment. And I thought it was a great place to really start. I wanted to promote their business. They're a women-owned business right here in Newburgh. It's a great concept. It's a bookstore and restaurant/bar. I had a book signing there. I loved it. Sue is having a book signing. I think that was November 16th, right? Because I put it in my calendar. Hold on. Yeah, September 16th at 2 o'clock. No, not September. November at 2 o'clock. So, yeah, you could come and see and support my friend, Sue, who's having her book signing a week after me. So what are your questions? Oh, and meditation. Sorry. Meditation is coming back October 27th. I have been off of a program. I haven't been doing it. Usually I do it every other weekend, and that schedule got completely pushed off. So meditation will be very close to being every other weekend for the rest of this year. So those dates will be going up on Facebook and my calendar and website calendar. And that's that. Yes, Bonnie, I went skydiving 5 times. And I am a person who was terrified to fly. And when I say terrified, I mean I would take Xanax. I would do whatever it was that could happen to knock me out. But one time I was with my little ones, and I was pregnant with Christopher. Benjamin was 1.5 years, and Jack was 3.5 years old. And I had to stay calm, and I couldn't show them that I was afraid. And I obviously couldn't take Xanax because I was pregnant. And I kept my wits about me on this flight out to California. And once I got there, I realized, I kept my wits about me while flying when normally I'm like hyperventilating in a bag. I was before 9/11, so I would have to like talk to the pilot. I insisted that the stewardesses would make me meet the pilot, so I felt confident that the pilot was like not messed up and he was ready to drive the plane, fly the plane. And so then when I realized that, hey, I really was able to keep myself together and I was really quite fine when I had a distraction of the 2 kids, I realized my fear was a mind fear. And I realized, this is mind over matter stuff. And that's my favorite stuff to talk about. So I really challenged that mind over matter, changed my thoughts, changed my beliefs about flying, still feeling fearful, but really just really, really not allowing that fear to take over. And then I realized, you know what? I'm going to solidify this fear by jumping out of an airplane, which I thought I'd only do once in my life. And I realized that, wow, I love to jump out of airplanes. I think that's amazing feeling, and you need to experience it at least once. We've gone several times. I think it's exhilarating. I'm somebody who does not like rides. I don't like the feeling of being dropped. I don't like heights. I hate fear of heights. I hate heights. But skydiving is quite an amazing thing to do. So I highly recommend it. I used to lead a workshop on fear, and we would culminate the workshop with a skydive jump, which was pretty powerful. So maybe I'll bring that back. I don't know. Ever since my back had issues, I'm definitely less inclined to do anything extra like that could possibly hurt my back. Even though my back is totally fine, um, I'm a little more fearful, more on a physical level now than ever before. So, okay, let's see. Kim, yep, I'll do a personal private cartwheel for you, Kim. So tonight is generalized questions, just generalized stuff that you guys want to know, want to hear me talking about. Um, and Christina, I'm just reading yours. You lost your best friend. Is a bad car accident in front of Montgomery Elementary. I'm not doing personal intuitive questions tonight, but I know exactly who you are talking with. I've connected with her on the other side a few times. They're always around us, and I know that's like a generic thing, but I won't do mediumship or I won't do personal intuitive questions tonight because once I take one of yours, in fairness, I have to absolutely take everyone's. So you just know that they're always with you. And what you do is you ask her for signs and you don't say, please, please, please come through. We phrase the question or phrase the energy when we're looking for signs, or as I call them, winks. Instead of begging for them to come to you, I want you to thank them for showing up. Thank them for the message and the wink, so to speak, that they are joining you and with you. So ask them to come through by thanking them for coming through, and that brings them closer. Um, let's see. James said, I asked my niece. My niece spent the weekend with us. I asked her if she gets signs or visits from her mom, my sister. She said, if she does, it's very sad visits. What should I say to her? That's usually a projection. So when you feel that you have a visit or it's a dream or you have a visitation and it leaves you really, really, really sad instantly, that's a projection visit. So I would always let people know that, particularly dreams when they feel uneasy and just not good, like, oh, I'm here and I'm around you and I love you. When you hear those dreams, that's a projection. What does that mean? It means it's a projection of your grief that is being placed on the person showing up in your dream. So obviously with her mother, she was close with her. That would be sad, but you could have a projection dream and it's a visitation/projection dream from like a great uncle you never knew. And it can still feel sad. That's still projection because your grief is projected on them. So tell her that it most likely is not a visitation dream. It's a projection of her grief. And the purpose for them is good. The purpose is to work on and keep bringing up the grief, which humans, especially those of us in the West, we do not want to deal with our feelings and look at our feelings. So those dreams actually help bring our feelings to the surface so that we can really process them and move them along faster. So there's a purpose to it, even though it doesn't feel good. Bobby K, I jump tandem. I definitely jump tandem. So at one point I did have that idea like, oh God, I'd love to be certified and do this on my own, but that ship sailed. I don't want to do that anymore. I have no desire to do that. But it is such an amazing experience. And Sue says she's not going to be taking that workshop. Oh, that's so fantastic. Oh, you're all number one fans. You guys always make me feel so good. And those of you on Facebook, because a lot of you, I see this going flying. Chrissy Cavada, hello. You guys should be joining me on YouTube. A lot of you are saying it's too complicated. I promise you, nothing I do technologically is complicated because I hate technology and I'm not complicated. So you go to my YouTube channel, which is Intuitive Medium Deborah Hanlon. Subscribe. That way you'll get notifications when I pop on, which is on Monday nights at 8:30. And then you can join me. And I only answer questions to people who are tuning on directly through YouTube, only because I can hardly read the writing on the screen in front of me on Facebook. So it's much easier right in front of me. So go over. You could stay still on your Facebook and then jump over to YouTube. It's usually a different scenery behind me, but tonight it's not. We've really got to we really have to get a better picture behind me. Greg, you're my technical guy. That's your job. That's your job, buddy. That's not my job. Oh, Greg must be all West. Yes, because we don't like to process emotions. Shocking. All right. So what other questions do you have for me? Or what else do you want to oh boy. Oh, I love the phrase Earth School, Roseanne, by the way. A friend of mine, Shelly, introduced me to that term, and I love the term Earth School. So Roseanne is asking, what do the higher consciousness beings think about the energy and events currently happening on the Earth School? That's a great question, but my answer might not be as salacious and upsiding maybe as everyone would prefer, because you would think higher consciousness beings would be horrified by what's going on in the earth based on what we do to the environment, based on what we do to each other, political systems. And I won't get into politics whatsoever because I don't know anything about politics, to be quite honest. I know how I feel about certain things and that's it, but I do not know how politics really, really works. But the higher consciousness beings are just that. They're higher consciousness. So they understand that the lower consciousness levels of energy are valuable with and in the transformation process. So they're not thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with these people? They're horrible. They're realizing, oh, isn't it kind of a shame that this level of consciousness isn't quite past all this density and negativity? But it's not coming from a judgmental place, because a judgmental place or a place of dismay or sadness or disappointment is a lower level vibration in and of itself. So they're far beyond that level, and they understand that consciousness is what consciousness is, and we're at certain points of consciousness and awareness at any point of our life. And the hope is that we're all collectively working towards evolving and understanding things on a deeper yet higher level. The deeper and higher we go, the less judgmental we become. Judgmental meaning we don't put things in categories of good and bad, better and best. We don't say right and wrong at higher level consciousness, because that is the world of duality. The world of duality is that we put things in good or bad, hot or cold, black or white, high or low. That's the way duality works. It has a direct opposite. But higher consciousness living has it's almost like their arms are wrapped around the totality of things. So I had a gallery this past Friday, and I kind of discussed this very topic in what does the collective whole mean? And in my book, The Presence of Proof, I really describe the collective whole. And what the collective whole is it's a higher truth. It is the truth with a capital T. And the way we get at the truth is not by me deciding what the truth is, but I am yet one perspective, and you are all additional perspectives that collectively together, all of our truths become the truth. And I use the analogy in that case of, well, I'll use it with this right now. Those of you who are tuning in, you are hearing me, seeing my environment, hearing my words, but you're all having a very different experience of this very broadcast. Even though you're watching the same thing, you're having a different experience, because some of you are in a quiet room and can only hear me. Some of you have someone else with a TV on, either beside you or in the area where you could hear it. Some of you are in your bedrooms. Some of you are in your living rooms. Some of you are in your offices, dens. So you all have a different perspective of where you're coming from, even watching this one broadcast. So we all have a different perspective, and the reality of this broadcast is not my reality. I'm having a totally different experience. I'm looking at a TV screen or a computer screen and a camera and addressing your questions. So we're all having this different perspective, but together, our entire collaborative experiences and perspectives of this very broadcast together creates the truth. And so when that's the truth, there's no right or wrong. I mean, I can say, no, this broadcast is, me looking at a computer screen into a camera talking to you guys. And you will say, no, 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 this is I'm hearing you speak, but I'm also hearing my dog bark or my neighbor's dog bark, or I'm hearing the microwave going because someone's making popcorn right now at our house. So everyone is having a very different experience of this exact same experience. So with that, we have to pool our collective consciousness, our collective experiences and perspectives. Once we do that, there's the truth. That's where higher consciousness is, at the truth. They're taking the sum total of all perspectives, and they're able to come from that space. When you're coming from that space, there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. It's just it's oh, Deborah's having this experience, this one's having that experience, and collectively an experience is happening. So no, they're not in dismay and upsetting um space about what's happening in the universe right now. We are upset because we are vibrating, and you're going to hate this, all of you. We're vibrating within the paradigm of what is causing the disparity and dysfunction that we would call dysfunction on the earth right now. And there's amazing positive things happening all the time. Look at Ellen DeGeneres. Every time I feel down and low, I put on Ellen DeGeneres, and that woman is doing so much for that collective consciousness of the universe on such a fun and powerful scale. So the flip is true too. But are all contributing to the negativity on this planet as well, which we all hate to hear because we're like, no, but I send love and light to everybody. But we don't send love and light all the time. I don't send love and light to everyone all the time. I get, human and really pissed off and stupid and offended, and I'll take things personally, and then I have to dial back and then go, oh my God, Deb, like, look at you. You're being like an annoying human. So the whole trick is kind of detachment and acceptance or surrender to what is, which, yes, human beings on this planet have attained that level of awareness. I think most don't, but if we're moving towards that direction, then we are growing, learning, and evolving. And I believe that is what we're here for. So that is a great question. I'm really glad you asked for it. Asked for it? No, you asked it. So Paul, thank you. You said, thank you for opening a world for Carmela. I can't describe what has meant to her. So when are you joining? Are you doing the next one, Paul? That's what I want to know. I think there is another man signed up for the next one. So this will be a whole different dynamic. Let's see who else. Hello, Elizabeth from New Paltz. You're going green, Dragon Girl. Carly, yes, I am a medium, but I'm starting to really evolve my own work past the mediumship. And I always say this because many people, especially when I began, that's all they wanted was me doing a reading and bringing through their loved ones. And I do love that portion of my work, but it's waning for me, self-chosen waning, because I'm starting to push forward and really want to do more with the living on how to make our life here better, because I meet with people every single day, and usually people don't come to me when things are going great and amazing. They usually come to me when they're either laden with grief, when they are trying to work out and solve an inner conflict that they can't figure out, when they want a little bit of insight and guidance and awareness, when they want practice and meditation and workshops and learning experiences. So my work is very largely shifting, self-chosen, like I said, away from mediumship and more into the living and what more we can do here, because that's where I'm at personally. And I do believe that we always teach what we want to learn, and I've had tremendous self growth in the last 8 years, in particular, 10 probably, that I want to share with people. I've had amazing experiences. My life has done a 180. I am surrounded by people I really, really love. I'm more in my authentic truth. I live the way I want. I have beautiful material things that mean everything. And fortunately, they mean nothing at the same time, that I could walk away from all of them and still find peace inside. Um, my kids are doing well. I mean, life is good. So I want to share that because my life wasn't always good. My life, I've suffered from severe depression at many times during my life. I um, have been betrayed terribly in my life, and I want to teach others that, one, that's normal, but what are you going to do with the crap that you've been dealt with? And I like to give the power back to people, that you are the best transformational specialist of your own life. And sometimes we just need a little tweaking and guidance and insight to really put you on full throttle with your own transformation. So that's mostly my work, Carly. But yes, mediumship as well. My events in galleries are commonly mediumship events. So the one in Albany on this Wednesday, and I have to check when the next one is after that. Oh, Hospice of Orange County. Oh my gosh, the following Wednesday. That's a great, great cause for Hospice of Orange and Sullivan counties. That's at Anthony's Pier 9. That's coming up. That's a great one. That's an amazing one. It's called the Witch Hat Party, and everyone dresses up with witch hats, and they do an amazing job. So I bring a witch hat, but I won't wear it. I just can't. My head gets itchy and I get too tired. But I'll be doing that too. So, okay, let's see. Let me take a break. Not a break, but a drink. Okay, so Elena is asking you, had a profound loss this year and any healing messages for you. That would be a little bit more specific, intuitive in a way, but at this point, sometimes this is going to sound terrible, but at this point, I feel like at some level, nothing helps. And knowing that nothing will help, I feel helps. And what do I mean by that? Is right now, when we're dealing with profound grief or loss or just tumultuousness in our life, and it just disconnect in any sort of way, unhappiness, a lot of times we have to realize, okay, this is happening right now, and we can't escape it right now. I'm not somebody who's going to be like talking poly positive and make yourself like fake happy and, give yourself like fake mantras. Oh, everything's going to be great. I'm not about that. I'm not about that. I always say meet yourself where you are. And right now you are probably in grief mode, go mode, which means you're just waking up like Groundhog Day and doing the same thing over and over just to have some level of normalcy. You're probably a little bit numb. You're probably a little bit angry at many people that you thought were by your side who aren't. You're probably also very grateful to see those who really are by your side. You may be pissed off at you having to deal with this loss at this time. And that, we sometimes will say, like, why do I have to go through this? And so doesn't. That's normal. So right now is just this huge, huge mishmash of emotion right now that you can't fix and solve. So if you're looking for that magic fix, just know that that's not going to happen right now. But the more you keep learning about yourself, processing your grief, opening up to people you can trust, expressing yourself, really getting yourself involved with your own healing and needing to be heard within it, you will evolve and move past this profound loss and grief that you're feeling. That does not mean that someday you'll be totally fine with a loss, but you will be able to come from a vantage point where you can understand, believe it or not, the benefits this loss will have brought to you. But if it's within the year, even when it's in the first 3 to 4 years, um, it's just not time yet to really be able to see all that. Yeah, you'll get glimpses and you'll get little moments of inspiration or peace, but they usually don't last very long, to be honest. And that's okay. That's what's normal. So just know that not feeling good at this time is normal, which will lessen pressure on you. Give yourself no timeline as to when you're going to feel better. And a lot of self surrender and compassion is going to be needed for you right now. Okay, Bonnie. My friend whose husband passed away a year ago still tears up when his name comes up. Do all people who pass make visits to loved one? First of all, I have people who sit with me, and it's been 15 years, and they still tear up when you talk about them. My father still tears up, and it has been 40 years since my brother has passed. So there's never really a time frame where it's like, oh yeah, I'm good with this. Yes, you move past it and you call it the new normal, as many of you say to me. Um, but yeah, she might never not tear up for it. But do all people who pass make visits to loved one? I do believe yes, but some are very subtle. In fact, most signs are incredibly subtle, and that, we all miss them because we are operating out of our logical minds, and our logical mind likes to tell us that we're crazy and that we're making things up. Um, I always say err on the side of logic. So if like your lights go out, but there was a blackout in your neighborhood, it probably wasn't someone from the other side. But there's unexplained messages or unexplained things that happen that they will let you know that they're around. So how do people always say to me, how do I know if a sign is a sign? And I always tell you, it's how you feel when you get it. And it might last you a nanosecond. It might just be like, thank you. I really needed to know you were here. And then the feeling gone. So there's so much to this, but they do make visits, but it's also not in the way that we think. It's not like paranormal TV show crap that's like, oh, and she appeared at the end of my bed. Although that's happened for people, but that is mostly not common. I've never had that. Knock on wood. Thank goodness. I don't want that one. All right. So Susan is asking, does spirit help people when they pass? Is there a specific spirit that greets you? Yes, absolutely. All energy, spirit helps people when they pass. And is there a specific spirit that greets you? I'm on the fence with this. Some people say yes, that you have assigned spirit guides, and they stay with you forever and they cross you over. Um, I've heard that in readings, but not all readings say that, which doesn't mean that that's not happening, but they don't express that that's what's happening. But um, we'll be greeted by the energy of those that were with us in this lifetime, as well as people who are connected to those people. So now that you're all tuning into me, my loved ones and your loved ones on the other side meet just because we're having some sort of connection right now. So when we cross over, you all will know exactly who I am if I'm already crossed over, and will know exactly who my brother who passed that none of you have met, I'm sure. So you'll even know who he is. So this is a much larger um what do you call it, network, if you will, that we are all super, super connected at all times. Maybe your loved one on the other side have met my loved ones on the other side, which is why you're tuning in and listening to me and I'm interacting with you. We never know which one comes first, but this is how connected we all are. So when people come to me and they ask me, oh, will I be reunited with my dad or my stepfather or my spouse? I'll always say, yes, of course, you'll be ignited with them, but many more as well. Let's see. Do I connect with animals? Not so much, Bobby K. I have connected with them. I don't typically look for them. I'm not a pet psychic or pet intuitive. I have connected with them, but it's not my forte. I'm really looking for people. Just like I don't connect with angels, I don't connect with saints and sages and spirit guides, only because I do believe that those are experiences you need to have one-on-one with them yourself, because I like proof. With animals, I always say that I take on the characteristics of the people who have passed. And the reason why I don't want to take on animals is because I will be damned if one of your pets has me starting to like lick my own, you know what. So I'm not taking on that mannerism. But they often do speak of their pets that have come through on the other side. So don't forget, Facebook people, if you're on YouTube, I will take your questions. It's harder for me to see questions from this distance, and for me to manage both screens is a little bit more difficult for me. So I only address those of you who are tuning in from YouTube, but I still keep Facebook on because some of you just prefer to just listen in. So that's why I do that. Um, do I do phone readings? I don't do phone readings anymore. I have a few select clients that I've had for years that I do phone readings for out in California. Um, the thing is with me, and anyone who knows me, I hate talking on the phone. Um, my readings also, they could go over time. So if I'm sitting with someone in my office and their session is going over time, I don't like to rush them. So normally I have somebody else in the waiting room and they know I'm with someone, and my assistant Michelle will be able to address with them. I know she's going over time, but I try not to rush people out, and that I give the same courtesy to the next person, and they're very aware of why I'm not coming to get them for their appointment. However, when I'm running late and the next appointment is a phone appointment, you're not in my office to realize she's on the phone with someone else. And so many times I had frantic people calling me saying, "Oh my God, what's wrong? You're not calling me. This is ridiculous." And people have thought that they've been frauded out of money. And I totally understand that because I didn't call at the exact time the appointment started. I'm not like 2 hours late or anything, but it just brought a lot of anxiety to me and to those waiting for me. So I finally decided that I no longer am going to do phone appointments for that purpose because I can't really do them for one person and not for everybody. So, yes, next time you visit, let us know ahead of time, and then maybe we can do something about that. Let's see. Susan is asking, can I talk more about signs that we should look for? Do spirits give us chills throughout our body when they're close? Do spirits communicate through songs? Other ways they communicate? They communicate through absolutely everything and anything. Um, I wouldn't say there's signs you should look for because that kind of gives the connotation that there's a universal sign for everyone, and I'm very anti that. I know there's a Facebook post that goes around and it comes on my page every once in a while. Like I don't post it, I see it. And it says something like, "Oh, did you know cardinals are a sign of your loved one who's crossed over coming to visit you?" And for some people, cardinals are very much, in fact, a sign or a wink that their loved ones are visiting them. But it is not a universal sign. It is not for everyone. So think about those who are, in Dubai, which I do not believe has cardinals. How would that be possible? How come they would say like, "Oh, great, cardinals can't exist here, so I'm not going to see them." So there's no such thing as a universal sign. What should you look for? Songs that mean something to you in them, songs with cool lyrics that pop up out of the blue. I'm big into like license plates but that's me. Again, I can't really say that because that's me. So you find a groove of what really are your signs and winks. I know pennies and dimes from heaven are a big thing, but again, it's not a universal sign. So please, you guys, don't tell everyone, "Oh my God, did you know dimes are a sign of people who cross?" Because it's not for everyone. It might be for you, and I'm not negating that, but you can't say to someone, "Oh my God, dimes, you'll find dimes if your loved one's around," because that might not be their sign and their connection and their wink. And then they don't find the dimes and then they think, "Oh, great, they're not even sending me dimes." So be careful when we are sharing with other people what signs are. You can say, "My signs are such and such," but make sure we don't ever say that there's a universal sign. Do I ever think about doing podcasts? Do I ever think about it? I have a whole studio here. I can't really show you. I could show Facebook people, but that would require me to take my phone off a tripod. But I have a whole studio board right in front of me. Maybe I'll post pictures. That's what I'll do. I'll post pictures after this. So you'll have to go over to my Facebook page later to see my pictures of my studio. So I intended to do podcasts, and then I just two things. One, so busy doing everything else, and when don't work, I just don't think to do a podcast. And two, I'm too ADD, and I life strikes me in the moment. So if a topic is like in my brain, I need to record it right then and there, because like 30 minutes later, I'll be like, ah, I'm over it. I got it. So I'm not disciplined enough at this time, Aisha. Under this is a good one, Melanie. Under hypnosis, are we able to connect to our higher self and heal ourselves? Hypnosis is actually you getting to connect with your subconscious mind or unconscious mind. So it's not necessarily their higher self, although someone could debate and argue that. But it's hypnosis addresses this unconscious tape that we have running in our being, and it will address those tapes to overlay with a new core belief. That's really what hypnosis is. So many years ago, I went to a hypnosis because I drank a lot of soda many years ago. Like I was still married at that time. So 9, 10 years ago, I don't know. It was a long time ago. And I would drink a lot of soda, Coca-Cola, not diet, those 2 liter bottles, or a nice fountain soda. I used to love the experience with straw and the ice. And I was like, oh, this is really bad for me. So I really need to cut down on soda. I got hypnotized. I did not think that the hypnosis was working at all, because all I remember was, and I do know that I'm very easily hypnotizable. I go into a deep meditation quite quickly. So I'm on this couch, and this man knows that I want to stop drinking soda. So he had me count down from 10 down to 1, and he's putting me into this relaxed state, and my eyes are closed. And then all of a sudden, I hear him say, "No soda. No soda." So it kind of reminded me of like when Dory Fish in Nemo like imitates the whale and how she talks like the whale. That's what it reminded me of. So I got like the giggles internally, which then as soon as I got the giggles, now I'm laying in like a recliner on this guy's chair. He's recording the whole thing, and I'm hearing no soda. So I'm trying so hard not to laugh in the middle of this meditative state. And when I felt that, I was like, oh man, this didn't freaking work, because now it took me out of my meditation, and I'm laughing over the internally. I couldn't let him know. So it was like one of those like body shakes, like, oh, stay focused, Deb. Don't laugh in the middle of hypnosis. And so then he woke me up and whatever, and I thanked him, and I was kind of really pissed that I wasted the time and money. And I was like, "Ugh, that totally didn't work," because I just wanted to laugh the whole time. I get in my car where I had left a 2 liter, not a 2 liter, you know what I mean? The individual bottles, is 12 ounces. I had one in the cup holder of my car. And as soon as I pull out, I go to reach for that soda, like I always do, to drink it. And I didn't want it. And I put it right down. And then I was like, wait, what? So I was like, no, I do want it. And I couldn't drink it. Like I didn't really want it. So hypnosis put a new tape in, like, I don't want soda. No soda. So it really did work. And I didn't even think it worked. So I'm a big believer in hypnosis for sure. Okay, let's see. Ha! Aisha's asking, when I went skydiving, hold on, let me get rid of some of this stuff. When I went skydiving, did I, hold on, I gotta move all this stuff. Bloop, bloop. Like my sound effects? Did I see spirits as you're jumping? I did not. I did not see spirits. I highly recommend everyone to jump out of an airplane with a parachute. Oh yes, Melanie. When you book appointments, do we have the option to do growth and learn about ourselves instead of mediumship? Yes, absolutely. In fact, it's more helpful for me to know that. Although intuitively, I also do typically know that. But yeah, you can let me know and at the session, not before, and say, I'm really here because I need insight on a particular topic or a particular area of my life. And then we'll address it. Usually I don't ask any questions like, well, what's happening in that area of life? If someone says, well, I need help with something with my work, I'll say, okay, don't tell me anything more. I'll dig deep and see what I'm picking up on, and then we will have a discussion about that. Then I like to look for blocks and what's causing those blocks, and um, going into your chakra system and your energy field to see where the imbalances are, how we get somebody moving again into the right direction. Those are my favorite. I live for that. And those don't drain me. Mediumship, especially in recent years, really do drain me. And there's an inordinate amount of pressure that I place on myself for mediumship, which is terrible because it's not up to me as to what's coming out and what's coming through and what I'm feeling. And yet I don't feel like it's good enough ever. So that's why I'd like to get out of, or get a little bit away from mediumship, except for very specific cases. Um, Diane is asking, when you say that you can turn off your intuition, how do you do that? That's a great question. It's a matter of focus for me. So when I'm intuitively with someone, I'm with someone on a different level than, say, I'm with my friends. When I'm with my friends or family, I'm coming from my human Deb self, and I'm operating completely out of my core beliefs and the way I am, my authentic self, if you will. A session is more of like the higher self, Deborah. It's like Debbie doesn't even exist, and I start to plug into your energy field, and I feel your energy field, and I connect through feeling with your energy field and those on the other side. So when I'm not doing that, that's a very deliberate intention and focus that I'm doing. It's kind of like a switch that goes off. That's very different, and I don't do it 24/7. Um, Very rarely things will pop up, but typically I don't. I don't want to do it unless I'm working, because it does get draining. It really is. As exciting as it is, um, it's also very draining at times. Not bad draining, but it's a lot constantly. Aisha, that's a great question. How about having a picture of Greg behind me? Now you're talking. How come I haven't thought of that? That's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm not going to leave it up to him, because now he's not going to put one behind me. But I posted a good picture, or provided a good picture, for that Times Union article. It's one of our favorites that my sister Lauren took a couple of years ago. So you have to look at that. You have to look at that stuff. Christina, Spirit really wanted to come through to us. Wouldn't they give us more prominent signs? Something very obvious that won't get lost in our logical minds. They do. It's up to us to get out of the logical mind, and that's what we're not doing. So they're like, "Hey, I'm here," but it's our logical mind every time that's going to fight it. So will you say, well, then why don't they go around the back door and get out of it? They do, but we are still operating so much heavily in the logical mind. And logical mind too goes on your core beliefs. Our culture did a very big disservice when we started teaching our children, and ourselves were taught, that when someone dies, they're gone. That was a huge disservice in the evolutionary um, moving forward of our consciousness, because we believe when you die, you're done. And we have to undo that tape and undo that conditioning, and realized, wait a minute, the body is done. The physical relationship, yes, that's done, but not the conscious connection, the consciousness, the spirit to spirit connection that never dies. It's never going to die. And that's quantum physics. Doesn't matter where they are, they will always be connected to you, no matter what part of the universe they're able to travel to. So it's us that we get lost in our logical mind. And to a degree, Christina, you can't help that, because we are still human. So even though I'm a medium and I do this for a living, I still get caught in my logical mind too when it comes to me receiving messages from my own loved ones. Maybe a little bit less over time, but I still get stuck. So we can't totally undo it. Greg is reminding you guys to click thumbs up, not put a thumbs up in the comments, but click thumbs up. So wherever that is in your screens, you could do that. That's always good for my Facebook algorithms. Let's see. Oh, little piggy, this little piggy. Oh my God, that was the most hilarious moment of our energy transformation awareness class, wasn't that, you guys? That was just hilarious. It's too long of a story for me to explain, but that was really hilarious. Positive parenting. That's a cool name. You're thinking about coming to your event at Club Helsinki. Can you tell me more about what you do at that event? That one, thank you. Club Helsinki is a fantastic venue. It is just so cool. I'm assuming you've been there, but if not, it's one of my favorites. It's a theater seating, and there's tables and chairs, and you can eat during the event. But it reminds me of like Westchester Dinner Theater style. So I just love the venue. It's very quaint, very cool vibe, great food. But at that event is mostly mediumship, and then midway in the show, I will open the floor for intuitive questions, and that's when people can ask me for insight onto things that are going on in their lives, or their children's lives, or parents' lives, or um, am I going to get a new job, and all of those type of things. So it's mediumship and connecting with the other side. And then the last half or so is more intuitive questions. And I always try to interject learning moments, because I do know that when you're listening to a gallery, sometimes it is very difficult to sit there and listen to everyone else or whoever else getting a reading and you're not. So I do try to interject with humor and teachable learning moments. So the whole night is an accumulation of growth and awareness, and just I want people to think twice after they leave, like, huh, that's interesting. So again, great venue. If you're going, post it, share it, please, because I am looking to get that one filled. That'll be on November 7th. So great, 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 great town. The town of Hudson is amazing. Aisha, does the higher realm have free will? Absolutely, but they don't really need it as much as because they're in it. So free will is a concept of humanity, of being human. And really what it is, if we were to interpret it on a higher level, is it's the ability to be connected to your true and authentic self. And they have absolutely mastered that level of free will, but we can master that level as well here. It takes a lot of training. That's actually what yoga is. The whole purpose and intention of yoga is to free yourself from the trappings of your mind and to connect you more to your true and authentic self, and therefore be able to exercise that free will. Let's see. See, Christina, Bobby K, you guys are sharing signs the way you get signs. Okay. Let's see. I did, yeah, Greg is trying to share his story about when we went skydiving together. It was actually quite funny. He landed not where we were supposed to. He landed like 2 miles off in a totally different direction, and we were all like partying and celebrating after we all jumped, and then all of a sudden we were like, oh yeah, where's Greg? What happened to him? And yeah, he was like in some car on the side of the road that picked them up and brought them back to the skydive ranch. It was hilarious. Let's see. Something very light white would be good in order to read the pink black, maybe an image of your book. Oh yeah, behind me. I think I did have oh no. You know what I do have behind me? I have a big screen. I think I do. That is a picture of me and my book. Maybe we'll just roll that up next week. Thank you for that idea. Let's see. So Christina, that's another great question. Is the other side like another world that they live in, or do they still live in this world side by side? They are still in this world. They're in a different consciousness, a different awareness, because they are no longer housed in their bodies. That their body is what dies, but not their essence, their energy, their soul, their aura, their spirit, whatever you want to call it. That never dies. So, but they're right here next to us. We need to kind of really engage our imagination to be able to conceptualize, like, okay, you're right here next to me. And I tell people, just imagine, pretend that they literally are sitting right next to you, and that will help you to be able to really like hone in on that connection a little bit more. But they're right here. They're not far away. And that's something paranormal shows also kind of show that I don't like. Let's see. Good. Yes, you like the venue of Helsinki. Carolyn says, you certainly keep your audiences alert at your shows. You've been to only one, but it was great. You've got your book. Everyone grab a copy of The Presence of Proof. Thank you. I'm getting so much feedback on the book and I'm loving it because I did publish it and announce it a year ago, September. And I really don't push it and I don't do that many book signings because I'm just all over the place constantly. But when I pick it up and read it myself, and this is going to make me sound like such an egotistical asshole, and I'm totally not. Um, at least trying not to be. But when I pick it up and read it and look at glimpses, I too am like, oh my God, I forgot that I wrote that. Oh my gosh, this is like such important information for people to know. So it is not a book that is written for me to tell my stories about, like, I did this reading and this is what happened, and that reading and that's what happened. It's not that. It's almost like a workbook, if you will, to help you understand the whole principle a little bit more, to understand your own personal power and how you can really bring that out. Um, I have a lot of different, like, I call them growth opportunities, and it's like little homework to do. So let's see. Is there anything I should read from here? Boop, boop, boop. Hold on one moment, please. Yeah, the universe truly does not make mistakes, I write. And trust me, I like say to myself, yeah, right, I was wrong about that. It makes a lot of mistakes. But there are times like I have to remind myself of, like, oh my gosh, everything is working out for me. Everything is truly for our development and higher power. Um, so so I really do. I think I need to read it. I think I need to read it again because it's been about a year since I've read it. And I do keep meaning to record an audio. Here is the book for those of you who haven't seen it. And I designed the cover. And in fact, that was designed before the book was finished. I knew exactly what I wanted. And it came out perfectly. Okay, let's see. Christina, yes, go ahead to grab a copy of it. It's on Amazon and anywhere that I am that we sell the book as well. But it's on Amazon. You can order it directly from there. It'll be at your house in a day or two. I heard that when you pass, hey Alexis, I heard that when you pass, you go to the age of 30. Do you believe that to be true, and why 30? I don't think it's like a universal thing that you go to the age of 30. We usually come back at our best time though, but however, that's not a hard and fast rule because sometimes someone will show up and they pass at 98 and they look 98. So there's really no hard and fast rule about that at all. Okay. I did read that. I read that one, Greg. I got that question. Good. Susan is reading the book since you took the energy transformation class. It'll bring it up to another whole level of that understanding of that class. And that's what the book club is for on November 10th, that I want to answer these questions. I want to know what you guys want to know. I want to tell you a little bit of the stories or how I came to come to certain knowledge. So mark up your books, put in little note cards and write down what questions you do have for me because I do want to address them. You appreciate the texture of the pages. I have a textural thing. I like certain books and the way they feel. Oh, let's see. Oh, Carolyn, everyone's like blowing me up so nicely. I'm always like, oh, wow, that's so nice. Let's see. Yes, Karen says, like, yep, that's what she's done. She doesn't need to connect with anyone because she already feels connected. So we talk about, yeah, my sessions. They talk about, those are the ones I love the most. I had someone in today actually, and this person was debating and having some questions about work dynamics, and it's quite fun and exciting to show people that what is connected in our world. So, for example, our career and our relationship is very intimately connected energetically because the energy center that houses and governs our careers also governing our relationship. So usually when we have a change in one, we'll have a change in the other. And you can chart your life backwards and see when did you get a new job, and either 6 to 9 months before you got that new job, you had a change in relationship status. Either you broke up with someone or you met someone or you got engaged or whatever it may be, and or 6 to 9 months after. And it's a true pattern. So when you recognize that, you go, oh, the dynamic at work will happen to be the same dynamic at home. If you're feeling bored and stagnant in your work, that will translate into feeling bored and stagnant in your relationship. If you're feeling useless and not that you have anything going on in your work, you are going to feel useless and not feel like you have anything going on in your relationship. If you're feeling fulfilled in your relationship, you typically will feel fulfilled in your work. So also, people will come to me and they'll say, oh, Deborah, when am I going to meet someone? And we can't really just do this like magic genie, like boop, someone's coming your way. So what I always tell people is if you are looking for a new relationship, make a change at work. That could be as drastic as changing your job altogether, but it doesn't need to be. Change the way you drive to work. Change around your office space. Change what you wear to work. Change something about work. Be more open, verbal at work. Maybe take the back seat and listen more at work. So change up your dynamic at work to change up the dynamic in your relationship. Same thing goes when people say, I need a new job. I got to do something. And I'll say, okay, you can make steps to do that. But part of that is changing up the dynamic in your relationship. If you're fearful in your relationship to speak up, maybe it's time to speak up so that that energy transfers into your work. So people are very unaware that those two aspects of our life are incredibly interconnected. So I think we all need to, it's a fun fact to understand, to understand that. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, hey, Mary Jane, thank you. Susan, entirely new level understanding. I do think my book takes a couple of times to read it in order to grasp certain concepts, because you'll get it on one level and then a year later you'll get it on a totally other level altogether. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up here because it's late, or it's not too late, but it's getting late. So I would like to end with a little bit of a brief meditation. We did that last week and I got a lot of great feedback off the air and on Facebook messages and all of that. So just right now, take a nice deep breath in through your nose and breathe out your mouth. Just for a few moments, take very strong and slow, deep, deliberate breaths, breathing in through your nose and exhaling firmly out your mouth. With each breath you take in and then exhale, just feel and notice how much more relax and relaxation you actually bring into your body. And a simple task of breathing, even just for one moment, one actual minute, will make dramatic changes in your energy field. So if you're having a panic attack or worried or upset or sad or angry, go back to your breath and get still and silent. Really feel what it feels like for the air to move in through your nostrils, and for that air to visualize pulling it deep down into the very bottom recesses of our lungs. And the deeper we breathe into our lungs, the deeper into the alveoli in our lungs, and that's deep down in that alveoli is where a lot of energy gets stuck because we typically don't breathe deeply enough to move and get to that level in our lungs. So really taking those exaggerated deep breaths helps move the energy in your lungs. Moving the energy in our lungs, incidentally enough, really helps us to process all grief, because the lungs in metaphysics and traditional Chinese medicine actually is the processor of your grief. So if you are experiencing grief on any level because of the death of someone or just the loss of a relationship or a friendship, really focus in on breathing deeply. bring all of that breath now deep into your abdomen. Breathe so deeply that as you inhale, your stomach expands. And as you exhale, your stomach contracts and you pull the belly button back towards your spine. And you can really exaggerate it at first. Begin to feel the tension and relaxation, or the tension leave your body and the relaxation come over your body. And sometimes meditation brings up anxiety for people. And if that's happening to you, I highly recommend engaging in a guided meditation so that your brain has something to listen to throughout the whole thing. Right now, we're just getting present and calm and relaxed and centered just by paying attention to our breath. Imagine with every inhale, your body is now breathing in white light. And the moment it comes into your nostrils, it takes that white light and spreads it to every single cell of your body. It embeds into every cellular structure. Every molecule of your body begins to pull in this white light energy. So much so that you get saturated in white light and there's nothing in you but white light. And that white light will push out any toxicity, negativity, or stuck emotions and stuck energy in your body. That anything that no longer serves you in this moment will be pushed out by the white light. Begin to imagine and use your imagination. Your body begins to tingle as if you're getting a complete and thorough cleansing of white light energy. And tonight, this cleaning and energizing of your cells and the pushing out of that which no longer serves you will actually help you to fall asleep and go deeply into a sleep that feels fulfilling and refreshing for you. Continue to focus in on your breathing, taking slow and deliberate inhales and forceful and slow exhales, filling yourself with white light and expelling or releasing anything that no longer serves you in this moment. Continue to focus on this breathing and this exchange of white light and this release of negativity and toxicity. And continue even after I log off. See how long you can stay with this centered space of relaxation and invigoration at the same time. You can all join me again on October 27th for meditation, which will be online and in person. And that's at 7 p.m. October 17th. But continue to breathe in the light, exhale the white light. Keep this going for the rest of the night so that you can go to sleep and rest in a peaceful and empowering space. So good night, everybody. Continue to breathe, and I will see you next week.